What is up, everyone? Wavin1246 here, and I'd like to start a new segment that I like to call my final word. Whenever I beat a game and I do a full playthrough of it and do all of its content, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to review the game and give it an honest review between 1 and 10. 1 being the worst game I've ever played, 10 being the best game I've ever played. So, today, for my first episode, I'd like to review a game that really took me by surprise. I thought that it was going to be a lot like a Call of Duty game, first-person shooter type, but then I found out that there's so much more that you can do with this game, and you can completely change the way you play it. And the game that I'm talking about is Deus Ex: Human Revolution. And if you don't know about Deus Ex, it was actually a sequel to a game that came out in 2000 called Deus Ex, obviously. And it was rated the #1 PC game back when it came out. And here we are 11 years later, and they brought out Deus Ex: Human Revolution. So what is this game really? Well, it's a combination between stealth and basic first-person shooter gameplays. You can either run through this game and upgrade your fighting skills in order to make it more like a run and gun, or you can upgrade your stealth skills. And what I say about upgrade is, let me get to that later. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about the story of this game. Deus Ex, you start out, you play Adam Jensen. Adam Jensen's the main character of this game. And you're ex-cop, ex-SWAT. And at the very beginning, you're acting as kind of like a bodyguard for Megan Reed, which is actually your ex-girlfriend, ex-wife. I'm not exactly sure how far they went. But you're acting as kind of a bodyguard for her when her research facility comes under attack. And you realize after a while that it's been other augmented people, and augmentations are like cyborg, additions to your body, and it's other augmented people that have been sent to kidnap them. And you don't even know that they're kidnapped until later in the game, but you realize that they were trying to steal not just research, but actually the researchers to help develop new technology. And you end up getting pretty much killed at the very beginning of this game, and through other augmentations, they're able to put your body back together in a very Mass Effect reminiscent beginning sequence, where they pretty much reconstruct your body and add a bunch of augmentations to you. And over the course of the game, when you get experience and level up and stuff like that, you get praxis points, which are kind of like the skill points that you can use to level up your augmentations. And so, like I said, you can either upgrade your combat abilities like aim stabilization, dermal armor so that you can be more damage resistant, or you can go the stealth way and make so that you can run silently and even go cloaked for a set period of time. Now, how does that change the gameplay? Well, there's it's very much like Mass Effect when you think about it, because you go through the game and there's a lot of cover, and if you can find anything that's about 2-3 feet high, you can actually crouch down and then hide behind it, kind of like you could with Mass Effect. And in addition to choosing whether you want to be stealth or more frontal assault type person, you can also choose whether to be lethal or non-lethal. And they give you a tranq gun and a stun gun if you want to be non-lethal. And there's lots of other weapons like a 10mm pistol, revolver, rocket launcher, plasma rifle, all that kind of stuff if you want to go more lethal. And you actually get an achievement for the game if you go through the entire game without killing anyone, except for in the boss battles. And we'll get to that a little bit later too. So, let me tell you what I liked about the game and what I didn't like about the game. First of all, what I liked, I really enjoyed the stealth aspect of this game. I've always been kind of into sneaking around rather than just gunning my way through the game. And this game does a really good job with that. You're able to hide behind cover, and if any guard gets close to you and you have energy, which is you have green bars at the top of your screen. Those are kind of like batteries, and you level those up with nutrients, or you charge them up with nutrients. Sorry. So you charge them up with nutrients. If you have any full ones, if a guard gets anywhere near you, you can press B, and you'll do like this cinematic like takedown screen where he goes and punches the guy out or puts him in a sleeper hold or something like that, and it'll knock out the guard. Or you can hold B and he'll like bring out these blades on his arm and he'll just like stab the guy through the chest and kill him. So again, you can either choose lethal or non-lethal on that aspect. But you go through the game and you can sneak by all the guards, or put them to sleep with a trank gun, or stun them with a stun gun, and at the same time you can go through the game and kill everyone you want. There's terminals that you can also hack, and hacking the terminals, you can take control of the terminal, or take control of the turrets and the robots that are also in the game, and either pit them against the enemy or just turn them off. Same with cameras, you can turn them off if they're giving you problems. And your hacking skill can also be upgraded by using different augmentations. What else did I like? The boss battles, although they are hard, they are actually very rewarding at the same time. If there's a boss that you get to, and he kills you instantly, or in a couple hits, you have to really think through your strategy. The first boss that I fought, I played through a couple of times on camera, and at that time I was upgrading probably the wrong things, and I didn't have any stealth capabilities, which I think would have really helped. And so it took me like 2 hours to finally outgun this guy and figure out the correct sequence of things to do in order to kill him. And eventually I just ended up walking around him, throwing EMP grenades, throwing frag grenades, and then finally running up and just blasting the hell out of him with my shotgun, okay? And after that battle, I felt really rewarded. I'm like, it took me 2 hours to do this, and I finally did it. It's just a really good feeling. Same thing with all the other boss battles, which took me quite a while, including the third boss battle, which again was a really tough guy to kill. Very, very rewarding in the fact that you spend so much time trying to figure it out, and then you finally get it, and you're like, ah, yes, I actually did it. So that was also one really good aspect of the game. And talking about that, actually, I want to mention that this isn't a game that has been dumbed down since the original Deus Ex came out, back in 2000. It's actually really tough at some points in the game. I mean, you got, let's say, a hallway, and there's 4 guys in your way, and you have like no energy to take them down, and very limited ammo. Well, you're going to have to figure out a way to get through it, and if you do it a couple of times and fail, and then finally get it, it's also really rewarding in that aspect. So it's not dumbed down. It's pretty tough, but it's also very rewarding. Speaking about the ammo, this isn't a game where you can just find ammo everywhere. It's very a limited supply. In fact, even if you go to vendors, they only have a limited amount. of ammo, and that's if you can find the vendors. There are like 2 in every area, and some of them are really hard to find, and I actually had to look them up online to find out where they were if I needed ammo. And another big part of the game is looting. If you knock out a person, you can loot the items they have off of them, and you can look through desks and stuff like that. That was pretty good. As for the graphics of the game, the graphics were outstanding. The detail that they put into this in every environment that you went into was ridiculously good. I mean, there's one point where you go to Hengsha, which is a place in China, and not only are the details there, but you actually feel like you're in China. You know, it's not like a basic city. You know, some like stereotypical city. It's actually, you feel like you're actually in China. The way things are set up. And the realism is one of the things that's really good about this game. Now let's get into some of the things I didn't like. There wasn't much, to tell you the truth. If you look at the bugs that this game had, there wasn't many. The only bug that I really found, and I wasn't even sure if it was a bug, to tell you the truth, was the second boss battle that I fought. After a little while getting into it, the boss actually would just stand there and wouldn't move. And that's actually how I beat her. I found her there, she was just standing there, and I kind of came up behind her and I shot her 4 or 5 times, you know, with whatever weapon I had. I think it was the shotgun at that time. And that's how I beat her. And I was just really, confused about what had happened. So that could have been a bug. But other than that, I really didn't see any. I mean, you look at all the other games that have come out, and like Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas, sorry, and that game was just full of bugs. It was probably one of the most infamous games for bugs that has come out in recent history. And this game, although it didn't have as big of a world as Fallout New Vegas, it was just bug-free, which was amazing. They took their time with it and actually found the bugs and got them fixed. So that was really good. Other things I didn't like were, honestly, some of the voice acting in the game wasn't all that great. The main character, Adam Jensen, doesn't really have many expressions. He pretty much stays the same all the time. Sometimes you can tell he's getting kind of angry because some people are pissing him off. But otherwise he stays really monotone and doesn't really show any expression. So they could have done a little bit better job of the voice acting of the game. But most of all, it was overall pretty good, pretty decent. Let's get right down to it, I guess. For Deus Ex Human Revolution, I thought the graphics were really good. It was fairly bug-free, and I loved the stealth and fighting capabilities in the game, and the way that you leveled up. So, I'm going to give this game an 8.5 out of 10. Mostly because of just the fact that it was a really good game, about 30 hours long, and you know, for a $60 release nowadays, 30 hours is amazing. I've actually been a really big fan of games that you can get 50, 60 hours out of. So games like Fallout 3 and Oblivion are really good games to me. So a game that gives you 30 hours of gameplay is really worth it. And bug-free, and the stealth capabilities in the game were really fun. So I give the game an 8.5 out of 10. If you are on the fence about buying this game, don't know quite what you want to do, definitely go out and give it a try. At least rent it, because this game is a game that deserves to get played. So that's it for my final word, and I'll see you later for another game playthrough.